Youth Association, and then the elders of the Nairi, and then all the Mamprusis, we are always of the firm conviction that violence cannot be used to achieve any aim. That is why in 1979, when the Kusasis decided to say they had escaped the parallel chief, we did not fight, we went to court in 1980, and then the court ruled in our favor. So the Mamprusi Youth Association and the entire Mamprugu Kingdom, we are always advocating to our people that violence cannot be used to achieve whatever we want. Threats of violence cannot be used to achieve whatever we want. And it is the same message we have been giving to the Kusasis that, look, if you disagree with what the Mamprusis have done or what the Nairi has done, the best thing you can do is also to go to court or seek redress at the appropriate quarters. But to threaten mayhem, as we speak, they have blocked sections of the Bawku Bolga Road and sections of the Bawku Pulimako, that is the road leading to Togo. And this is a major ECOWAS highway. This road gives income to the state. But as we speak, it is inaccessible. Bandits have taken control over the road because they think that that is the only way they can use to address their concerns, and which is sad. They have taken charge of the road. People want to use the road, they cannot use it. You want to travel for business, you cannot travel. And then it appears as if there is inaction from the security agencies, in that regard. So we keep on, advocating for peace, and we are urging the Kusasis to also tell their people to advocate for peace. If you disagree with anything, you go to court. There is no need to seek for violence and then also use the road or to perpetuate violence on the road because you think that you want to achieve an aim. So for us, we are firm in our conviction that peaceful resolution of the conflict is very important. So basically what we do to try to educate the people is that, or the youth, is that we move from area to area within the Bawku township. We engage them and then let them understand that peace is very important. We also use the local radio stations in Bawku. There are 2 major local stations that are within our reach. We are able to engage the youth through these radio stations and let them understand that, look, there is no need for violence. We also use social media and try to talk to people and let them understand that peace is important. Non-violent means is the only way we can use to achieve what we want, our quest. So that is how we try to engage the youth and let them understand that peace is very important.
How has they?
So the conflict, like any other conflict across the world, has some adverse effects on the lives of the people. And this is not only the Mamprusis or the Moshis, it cuts across. And I believe our Kusasis, they face similar, challenges because we hear them make audios and some of them interviews and all that. So the challenges I'm going to outline, they are not only affecting only the Mamprusis. Businesses are down. Bawku used to be a business center as far as the Upper East is concerned, or Northern Ghana. And the nature of the town is such that the market, the Bawku market, was founded in mid-1850s by the Mamprusis, by one of the chiefs of the Mamprusis called Naimamboda. He's the one who founded the Bawku market. And this market has been the center of business in almost the entire of Upper East. Mamprusis do business there, Kusasis do business there. So anything that affects the Bawku market does not affect only the Mamprusis. It as well affects the Kusasis and then the other Moshis and everyone in the Bawku township. So as it stands now, businesses are down. People cannot travel to areas in Togo to buy goods and services and then bring. So the challenges are there. It affects businesses. People want to travel, it affects them. People want to import goods and services, it affects them. And then the only way we can get a solution is that if we realize that non-violent means is the only way we can solve the crisis in Bawku. So as I indicated to you, part of the problem of the Bawku crisis is because of government's meddling into the crisis. It started in 1958 when the Nkrumah government decided to, though they sometimes say it is Lord Listowel, but at that time we all know it was the CPP government that was in power. They decided to constitute a committee of inquiry which did, findings that any primary one student looks into would realize that no, these findings are not sustainable at all. That is the Opoku Afare Committee. They made findings that did not make sense at all because they were doing a hatchet job for the CPP. Because their main foundation was that the Mamprusis came to Bawku with the colonial authorities, which was even totally, it was not in line with the evidence that existed. Mamprusis had been there before the colonial authorities came, as I indicated earlier. So that is how government has interfered, and they skewed the evidence in favor of one party. And today, you still hear the Kusasi talking about the Opoku Afare Committee report, which, because of time, if we were going to strip it bare, you'd realize that it was a political job that had no foundation and cannot stand. Because anybody who says the Mamprusis came with the white man to Bawku, and when the white man came to Bawku in 1906, when we know for evidence that the Mamprusis had been ruling Bawku since the 17th century, then we know it is not, right at all. That is why. Then again, the PNDC government came and interfered, as I indicated, with the PNDC law 75. So the lesson government has to take is that government should not meddle in matters of chieftaincy. The Constitution of Ghana prohibits government from meddling in chieftaincy matters. What government should do is that they should provide a leveling playing field, or a level playing field for both parties to seek redress at the court or at the House of Chiefs or any appropriate forum they think that would help to resolve the problem. That is why when this government, placed an arrest warrant on Bokuna Sheriga, Alhaji Sedu Abagre Bokunaba, when they placed an arrest warrant on him, some of us felt that it was interfering in chieftaincy matters. But the Mamprusis did not fight. They went to court. First, they went to the High Court and went to the Appeals Court and got the arrest warrant quashed. That is how government, interference is not good. So the government should advise both parties, both factions, to seek for redress at the appropriate quarters, but not to meddle and then choose one side and say, these people are right, these people are not right. It affects the peace process because you need a neutral arbiter to be able to talk to both sides and make sure that they solve the problem. The traditional authorities, as we indicate now, there is a situation in Bawku currently. We have Bawku Naba Sheriga, who is the paramount chief of the Bawku traditional area. Okay? And we also have the Kusasi chief, who claims he is also the chief of the Kusa traditional area. So when you talk about the crisis in the area now, these are the details, or these are the differences we have now. One says Bawku traditional area, the other says Kusa traditional area. So the traditional authorities are in twofold, as I indicated for the Mamprusis. The traditional authorities are firm in their belief that it is only through non-violent means that these problems can be resolved. That is why they chose to go to the appeals court or the court of appeal to make sure that the arrest warrant was set aside. It is also on the other side to make sure that if they disagree with anything that has to do with tradition, they can also seek for redress in the appropriate court. So that's what I think the role of the traditional authorities should be. They should talk to their followers and let them understand that non-violent means is the only way we can use to get a solution in Bawku, but not violence, threatening of violence, use of violence, banditry on the Bawku-Bolga highway or the Bawku-Pulimakum highway. It will not help in resolving the problem. So far, we have witnessed some activity that some peace, advocates, then some organizations are trying to engage both factions to make sure that there is mediation, there is dialogue and all that. And then one of them is Kojinta. I think they are doing, so far, they are trying to engage both factions. And I think they should be encouraged to dispassionately engage both factions to make sure that there is dialogue amongst both factions. Then they understand that look, violence cannot be used to attain whatever means. No, it should be non-violent means. Other international bodies are also welcome, because there is a sad development that we witnessed about, I think, a week ago. The Kusasis held a press conference and indicated that they were not going to adopt mediation. They would not take part in mediation. They would not take part in any court processes. And I think this declaration was very unfortunate. They should understand that violence cannot be used to attain any means. We should all come together and then work for peace. One important thing that binds the people of Bawku, or that has been significant in bringing the people of Bawku together, is the Bawku market. As I indicated, the Bawku market was founded in the mid-1850s. That is before the colonial authorities even came to Ghana. And it has been a center where Mamprusis, Kusasis, Moshis, Bises, Frafres, all tribes, they converge to do business. If you are a Mamprusi, you come to market. If you are a Kusasi, you come to market, irrespective of your tribe. And this is where both factions have lived peacefully with each other. They do trade. And one thing about trade is that if I buy from you and then you buy from me, that there's a particular bond that builds or that forms between us. But unfortunately, the Kusasis have decided that they are going to start their own market. This happened about 2 to 3 years ago. We have urged the government and we have urged the Kusasi leaders to understand that, look, we can have differences, but to seclude yourself and isolate yourself from this market, it doesn't help in building peace and confidence. So to gain the trust of both factions, look, let's try to reintegrate the market. And this is not because I am a Mamprusi, no. Our people have used this market since the mid-1850s. There's no need to say you are collapsing this market. And you know, the market was built based on trust. I am firm in my conviction that there is no way this market would collapse. But it is because, you know, the question has come that what trust or what issue can bring trust amongst both parties. That is why I'm mentioning the issue of the market. So I would like to appeal to government that no. And then the Kusasis, irrespective of our differences, that reintegration should happen. There's no need to use violence to try to solve problems. To say you are secluding yourself from the market, no. That is one. Secondly, the government, previous governments, constructed a very huge lorry park for the Bawku municipality. In this lorry park, whether you are a Mamprusi, you are a Moshi, you are a Kusasi, you are a Hausa, you are a Bimoba, we all used to patronize that particular lorry station. But unfortunately, the Kusasis again have pulled out and then said that they are starting their own lorry station. And all this does not breed trust. We need to find a way to resolve our problems. When you go to, you know, several other jurisdictions across Ghana, there are people who have problems with chieftaincy. Even in Ghana, we had problems with, we had election petitions. Did we go onto the streets to fight? No. We still found a way to resolve it through the legal means. Why is it that we can still find those ways to resolve these problems, but we think that we can use violence and then destroy all the institutions that put us together? So I think that as a start, reintegration of the market is very important. And then the lorry station, it will build trust. Trust me, there are Mamprusis and Kusasis who willingly want the reintegration of this market. Because if you look at the terrain, the produce or the goods the Kusasis deal with in the Bawku area, it is the Mamprusis and then the other tribes that live in the township, they patronize those goods. So it is a mutual, you know, relationship. You produce and come and then we benefit. But if you say you are cutting yourself off it doesn't build trust, and then it even affects your own businesses. So I think that the reintegration is very important. The Bawku traditional area, if you look at the revenue that used to be generated generated by the municipalities in Ghana, I think at a point in time, Bawku was the next to Techima. Yes, Bawku used to be next to Techima because the Techima market is a very big place. Bawku used to be next in terms of revenue generation. So there's a huge potential of Bawku growing and creating businesses for the people and all that, provided there's peace and security. That is why we all need to work together. I am from Bawku. I can trace my generation from myself as I sit here to the 14th century in Bawku to Nagbewa. I can do it. So there's no way I would want Bawku to spoil. No. There are people who can hardly do that. Trace their generations from now, today, until the 14th century. I can do it. And there's no way I would want my town to spoil. I would do everything to make sure that there is peace and security in Bawku because I know the potential. In terms of healthcare, the Bawku Hospital used to be one of the biggest, providers of healthcare in Ghana. Not only in Ghana, but in the sub-region, because people used to come from Bawku, from Burkina Faso, and then from Togo to enjoy medical care in the Bawku Hospital. But surprisingly, today, a lot of people who benefited from the Bawku Hospital, whose parents worked in Bawku Hospital and took care of them, and they went to school and became doctors and nurses themselves, lived peacefully in Bawku cottages. Some of them are those who are at the forefront trying to destroy Bawku Hospital. This is a sad aspect. They are those who benefited from the Bawku Hospital, but today they are those who are trying to destroy the Bawku Hospital. Some of them have run away and they want the Bawku Hospital to be grounded. Some of them have actually, proposed to the presbytery that the presbytery should close down the Bawku Hospital. Where have you ever seen this? Even today in Gaza, there is still medical care for the people of Gaza, where there is blockage and there is bombardments every day. There is no way there shouldn't be medical care in Bawku today. No. But unfortunately, there are people who are advocating to the authorities or those who are in charge of the Bawku Hospital to close the Bawku Hospital, simply because they feel that they are Kusasis and they are not Mampusis. So they want the Bawku Hospital to be closed because it is right at the heart of the Mampusis. They want the nurses training college, which is within the Mampusis, to close. And this is so unfair. This is so unfair. Conflict, as we usually say, has its adverse effects. And then I am very sure that Ghanaians and then people in the sub-region, because we have interest from people in the sub-region who want to investigate or to report on the Bawku crisis. It means that they are aware of the challenges that the people of Bawku and then the Upper East region and then Ghana as a whole we are facing as far as the Bawku conflict is concerned. So the important thing is that all other regions and then other traditional areas need to understand that when differences arise, there is no need to use violence to address these differences. It is important to use non-violent means, peaceful means. That is what I keep on stressing. There is no need to use violence to think you want to attain whatever you want to attain. So I think my advice to other traditional areas and then authorities is that let's always try to use, the laid down procedures. Even today, according to the Constitution of Ghana, if you catch someone stealing from your barn, if you catch someone stealing from your house, you don't have the authority to say that the person is a thief. No, he's a what? A suspected thief. It is only the court of competent jurisdiction that can prosecute that person and say that this person is a thief. This is simple. So today, if someone, if the Nairi and skins a Bawku Naba, because the Nairi is of the opinion that he is the kingmaker for the Bawku traditional area, the only thing you can do is, you don't have the right as an individual to say that the Nahiri has committed an illegality. No. It is only the court or the National House of Chiefs that can declare an action to be illegal. But the moment you, an individual, you want to declare something to be illegal, you end up using violent means to try to correct it. Go to the appropriate forum and let the appropriate forum address the issue and then now decide whether it is legal or not legal. But you don't have the right to pick up arms and say, no, this is what the man has done, or this is what the Nahiri has done. We are going to resist it in your capacity as well. That is why I made the point that if you catch someone committing a crime in Ghana today, even if you see the person, you don't have the right to lynch the person. That is why they say you don't do instant justice. You have to make sure that it is the court, send the person to court, then they even call the person a suspected criminal until the person is, convicted. So using legal means has advantages. It avoids all these problems. My hope is that one day we would witness peace in Bawku, and then this peace should be sustainable and then everlasting. I am always of the firm belief that the people of Bawku can live together as one people. And that is why usually I spend much time talking about the history of Bawku. The Mamprosis, the Kusasis, the Hauses, the Bimobes, the Moshis, the Bises, all the tribes, they have actually lived peacefully with each other until this crisis started by the politicians in 1958. As I indicated, in Bawku we had one market. It doesn't mean that we can't have several other markets, no. But one market was our strength. Everybody used to go to the market. We had one lorry station. And as I indicated, the concept of the head chief in 1931 was successful in Bawku because the people of Bawku saw themselves as one. Because other jurisdictions had refused the concept of the head chief. Even though they were all under the Nahiri, Bongo, Zuarungo, Bolga, Tongo, Sakote, Nangodi, all of them were under the jurisdiction of the Nahiri. But when it was proposed to them, they said, no, they prefer to be individual, but they will still go to the Nahiri for enslavement. And that is what happens even still up to date. But in Bawku, when the proposal was made, all the tribes accepted it because they saw themselves as one. And I think that we can still see ourselves as one. A Mamprosi man has never gone to Zebila to say he wants to be chief of Zebila. No. A Mamprosi man has never gone to Kusanaba to say he wants to be the chief of Kusanaba. No. But a Mamprosi man has the right to say he wants to be chief of Bawku because the first chief of Bawku and then the Bawku scheme was founded by a Mamprosi. Same way, a Mamprosi has the right to say he wants to be the chief of Binduri because the first chief of Binduri, was a Mamprosi that was founded by the Mamprosis. Same way, the Nahiri has the authority and the right to say that he is in charge of all the Bawku traditional area, including places like Zebila, Kusanaba, because the history shows that all those areas were founded by Nagbewa, and then his first son, Tonsubu, was the one who took charge of these places. And that is why I indicated that when Kusanaba migrated from Burkina Faso, when they migrated from Burkina Faso and came to settle in Kusanaba, this is pre-colonial times, they found it very important or very necessary to go to the Nahiri to seek for their blessings before they come back and settle in Kusanaba. This tells you that it was the Nahiri who was still in charge of the Kusanaba. And Kusanaba is a major Kusasi settlement, at least it is even the senior Kusasi settlement as far as their history is concerned. So I believe strongly that we can still live together and live most peacefully. Our differences can be resolved by way of the traditional means or any other appropriate means that people think that is constitutional. But for violence, we should all eschew violence. We should not, we should preach peace and let people understand that we can still live together. We can still have one market. We can still have one lorry station. We can still intermarry we can still live peacefully. And Bawku traditional area can still exist as it used to be before the meddling and then the interference of politicians in 1958. The people of Bawku traditional area, we all have witnessed what is happening in our hometown. Some of us can trace our genealogies in Bawku from today until the 14th century. This tells us that we are people of Bawku. We don't have any place to go. And our priority should be on how to promote peace in Bawku, because we don't have any other second home. Ignore any propaganda that, some people have a home in any other region. No, our home is Bawku. Our history goes back from today until the 14th century. That is deep for anyone who thinks. So we don't have any home unless Bawku. And we have the responsibility to make sure that there is peace and security in Bawku. I want to appeal to everyone to try as much as possible to preach peace and eschew violence. I want to make a passionate appeal to the government and then the security agencies to, as a matter of urgency, make sure that the Bawku-Bolga Road and then the Bawku-Pulimakom Road is accessible to every Ghanaian. As we speak, the road is being used by bandits who are openly displaying arms on the road and then threatening the lives of people. This does not augur well for us as a people and as a country. The government and then the security agencies must not throw their hands in despair. Even in areas where there is there's war and then it is advanced, like Gaza, people still have access to enter and then leave. Medical supplies are still able to be transported into and outside of Gaza and other areas that are in conflict. How much more Bawku? So my appeal to the government is that they should, as a matter of urgency, make sure that the Bawku-Bolga Road and then the Bawku-Pulimakom Road is made accessible as possible for everyone to use without any threats of harm on them. Also, I would like to appeal to any other person who seems dissatisfied by the ruling of the Court of Appeal to seek redress at the appropriate quarters. I had an interview that was granted by the Kusasi People's Congress, and they indicated that they were pulling out of any mediation or they would not go to court to seek to address this issue. This is unfortunate, and I wish to urge them to try as much as possible to adopt the non-violent means to address their problems. They should try and seek redress at the appropriate, constitutional forum. That is what we have to say to our people at home. Let's continue to adopt peaceful means of addressing our differences and know that our people lived peacefully with each other until the politicians came in 1958 and then divided us. It has nothing to do with Mamprosi Kusasi, no. Actually, in 1958, the evidence shows that the politicians at a point in time, the CPP government at a point in time, they were even gunning for a Mamprosi, not a Kusasi. And those who said they were fighting for Kusasis, in 1958, they were gunning for a Mamprosi. So it has nothing to do with Mamprosi Kusasi. It is just in recent times that they have used politics to try to pitch our heads together. We can still live peacefully. Mamprosis, Bises, Kusasis, Moshis, Houses, Bimobes, all the ethnic groups that live in the Bawku traditional area. It is possible, as is usually said, it is possible for us to live peacefully. Thank you very much.